Welcome to Meeples on Meeples, episode 69. I'm Adam.
I'm Brian.
Andrew.
As usual, before we get into our game of the week this week, we want to invite you over to our website, meeplesonmeeples.com, as well as to subscribe to us on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, pretty much any social media site. We probably have an account there. Subscribe and follow along.
This week's game of the week is Dice Town. It's a dice game, oddly enough, set in the Old West. And it consists of the poker dice you can actually get anywhere, and it comes with 25 because it plays 2 to 5 players, and each person gets 5 dice.
You did the math in your head there. I saw that.
I know. Can you actually see me? There's that pause. And then you get 5 dice. You get your dice cup. You start with $8, and then you've got the board that's laid out like so. On your turn, everybody's going to shake the dice, and here I won't do this because it's very noisy. And then you'll flip your cup over with all your dice underneath it. You'll secretly peek, and you can choose to keep 1 die each turn. Now, you can choose more than 1 die. The object is basically that each dice represents a different building in the town, and if you have the most of that type of dice, you get to take that action this round. So you want to keep in mind what you're trying to go for and keep those dice, obviously, if you've rolled them. But let's say I wanted 10s and I rolled 2 10s this time. You can secretly take these out and leave 2 under there, and when you reveal, if I kept more than 1, I have to pay $1 for every additional die. Normally it's free. You keep 1 die. The next turn you roll only 4 dice. You choose 1 to keep. You all reveal at the same time, and you add that. And you're slowly building a poker hand 1 die at a time. But like I said, if you want to keep more than 1, you could keep 5 on your first roll and pay $4 for those 4 additional dice if you get an amazing roll. If you go for the 9s, which are these black symbols there, and you have the most 9s, you get gold. 1 gold nugget for every 9. They're worth a victory point for each nugget at the end of the game. If you have the most 10s out of any player at the end of rolling all 5 dice, you can rob the bank. And it starts with $3 here. The money you pay to keep dice goes to the stagecoach. So when this gets robbed this round, the next round, that money would just slide up and refill the bank. So sometimes there'll be a lot of money to steal from. If you happen to have the most jacks, you get to draw 1 general store card for each jack, and they have different abilities or victory point amounts. And instead of if I have 4 jacks, I draw 4 cards, but you only get to keep 1, discard the others. If you get queens, you get the favor of the ladies. For every queen you have, you get to steal a card from a player. So 3 queens, I steal 3 cards, same thing. I keep 1, they get the other 2 back. Kings, you get the sheriff badge if you have the most kings. Being the sheriff doesn't really get you any victory points. However, it does give you the ability to decide tiebreakers. And oftentimes, that means you can pick yourself over. Well, it's if I have 2 queens, you have 2 queens. Nope, I win the tiebreaker. So the sheriff is very powerful. And the rules do say you can bribe the sheriff. So if you're choosing between a couple of other players who have tied for one of the buildings, they might start paying you. And money and gold both can be worth victory points at the end of the game. Town Hall just means whoever has the best overall poker hand gets the bottom card, and if you have any aces in your poker hand, you get an additional card for each ace, up to the 3 cards, and then this refills at the end of the round. And if you got totally boned on every single one and you didn't win a single building, you get to visit Doc Bad Luck, and depending what dice you have in front of you, 9s and 10s, for instance, let you take 2 of your cards and shore them up, put them face up, and they can no longer be stolen the rest of the game. If you have jacks, I can't remember, it gives you a special ability, but even if you just get beat in every category you're going for, you still get good options, which is nice. It doesn't leave you hanging. Everybody gets to do something positive. When either all of the gold nuggets run out or all of the claim land cards run out, whichever happens first, that's the end of the game. And then you add up the victory points. That's the numbers here. Some of these cards are worth victory points.
Gold.
1 for each gold nugget and 1 victory point for every $2. Added up, high score wins. If there's a case of a tie, I believe the sheriff gets to come and I believe. I'd have to read again, but that would be a cool rule either way. It's how it should be. And that's how you play Dice Town.
So if you're the sheriff, you just shoot somebody?
There you go. You just
take
boom,
it.
boom, done. You take it.
Let's talk components. I'm going to kick it off. One thing I really like is the money is actually like a plastic texture material. Yeah. It's like I don't even know how to explain it.
It's bendable. It is paper, but it's plastic coated paper. I've never felt anything like it.
It almost feels like a really thin card.
But it's
kind of a thin playing card.
And it is kind of linen textured. It's awesome. I really like it, and it's kind of cool artwork. I mean, everything is nice. No cardboard chits in the whole game. They could have simply done cheesy little gold coins made out of cardboard. No, it's actual little plastic
uneven
nuggets.
Little nuggets. Yeah, the dice are probably the the least impressive because they are just generic poker dice.
But if you ever lose any, or if they got ruined, you can replace the actual components in a game. You can replace for once. That's kind of cool.
I like it. I like the art style. I think kind of the cartoony nature fits what you're doing and how you play the game.
The cups are nice.
Are they supposed to look like bullets? That's what I was thinking they were going for here.
I don't know.
What were we?
Like a hat?
No, like a bullet, like the end of the bullet.
Oh, I think you said. Never mind. I thought I said something else. I don't know if it's. I don't know what they are, but it's nice to have them instead of having to just roll and kind of hide them. You got like an actual cup.
Yeah, kind of the
There's
sound.
something enjoyable about slamming it down. Now, you won't want to play this if you have a nice table. We had that conversation. Sure. But if you have a felt table or a pool table,
or if you got that friend you don't really like, take
their
this game to their house.
Yeah, because this is basically what you do each turn. You shake them up and there you go. So you can see how that would mark up
put
the
all
table.
5 in it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I kept that one. That was a good die. I love the components. The card quality, it's average. I like to sleeve cards, so I did that.
Cost on this one, what are we talking?
If you go full MSRP, I believe it's $44.99. So you're gonna be looking at probably paying like 30ish, a little over online.
That honestly
that's
seems
not
a
terrible.
little high for me, but it's good component quality.
And it's not a huge box. You can take it along. We learned it in 5 minutes. It plays in probably 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's our longest.
So if you got in between games or before people get there, good deal. I do like the little cartoony look on the cards.
And on the back of these cards I didn't mention, it tells you if you are not a poker player, like how do I know who has the high hand to win at the town hall? It says pair is the lowest, then 2 pair, then 3 of a kind, then a straight, and there you go. That's how you know who has the high hand.
And they went the extra mile. Those land cards, claim cards, the
are
backgrounds
different.
are all different. I mean, they could have just done like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and who cares? But they got different art styles.
Yep.
It's even impressive.
Even
The
like
ones
these,
and twos are different. Yeah.
No,
I mean,
but
the
even-
2s and 2s are different.
Yeah, these 2s and 2s, they're both different. Actually, there's 3 of them laid out there. They're 2s and they're all different. So
It's just the extra mile. They didn't need to do it, but it's kind of nice.
And if you want, it's Madigo, and they almost, or Madigot, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but they almost always have amazing components, so I'm not surprised.
let's talk strategy. Bone the person next to you. I mean,
Roll good, like Adam
Roll
said.
good,
a minute
yeah.
ago.
no, one of the things that I liked to do was, if you got a stack full of cash or whatever, and you roll 5, and you just, you wait, and then you reveal all 5 because the next turn, everybody else.
Yeah,
has
that's
to-
what we didn't get into the rules.
Oh.
When you run out, the first person to run out of dice, everybody else gets one roll.
more roll,
after
no matter
that.
how many dice they have remaining.
So if you get even if you get a semi-good first
Right.
roll and you have some cash, pay the money and stick everybody else with, basically just kind of random dice at that point.
Right, like right here, I got a queen, a jack, king. You know what I mean? I could roughly maybe get 2 or 3 things out there depending on what everybody else rolled. Wouldn't be so bad.
That's probably the biggest strategy, I think.
I'm going to throw in another important strategy. Whoever gets the highest queens can steal cards from a person of their choice. Now, they're random. They just see the backs of the cards, and they get to draw, okay, I have 3 queens. They can pick 3
Are we going
cards.
to talk about the pony?
Well, we'll talk about that in a second. So, one of the strategies for that is, you know what? Sometimes I found it's better to go for gold because people, if there are cards that steal gold, I played this game like 4 or 5 times. I can't even remember. But you don't get to steal gold very often. That's permanent victory points there. People are constantly stealing each other's cards. So, there might be 4 or 5. There's 1 8 in the game. But they get shuffled around a lot.
Let's talk about that 8. The 8 is a pony. It became known as the famous pony for our games.
And it's a general store
And
card.
it's kind of maybe an obvious strategy, but keep track of where those high cards go as they pass around the table.
Mhm.
Because when you get the queen, you want to know, okay, who has the pony? So I can get that 8 extra
And nobody's
points at the end
supposed
of
to
the
know,
game.
but if somebody should happens to go, oh, look what that,
Or, I mean,
I'm
even
saying.
if you got it earlier in the game and it gets stolen from you, just want to
That's
keep
true.
track of where it's going around the table.
So you know who to steal from, basically?
Exactly, yeah. Other than that, I mean, roll good. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the strategy.
Yeah,
Well, but it doesn't. You know, watch me like that one game we played where I ran out of money and you guys didn't let me get the bank. That was good strategy on your part because I could only keep 1 die at a time forever because I had no dollar bills to pay to keep extra dice. So I was getting weak rolls.
Andrew had a stack of cash and was just paying every first roll. Like, he was just ending the game.
The thing is, too, say you only roll, you roll 5 different ones. Well, that would be a straight, and you might want to keep that. But, if you want to go for jacks or whatever, after the first roll, you can kind of see where people are heading.
Yeah.
So you can be like, okay, he's already got 2 jacks. I've got 1. What are the chances I'm going to roll 3 to beat him? Maybe I should go for queens or kings or whatever.
Yeah, watching other people's
And that gets
dice
into know when to end it too. Like if you know, okay, that guy's got 2 queens, I got 3 queens, I'm paying to keep the rest of my dice. That way, there's a chance that he's not going to get the extra queen to beat me out.
So I mean, it does. There's some strategy which is kind of nice. Yeah. There's also one other strategy that you're rarely going to use, but if you have the pony card, you have a couple high scoring cards, and you know other people are gunning to get it and steal it from you. I one time purposely tried to get a bunch of cards to not win anything, to not have more than 1 of each die, so that way I would have the lowest. You know, I wouldn't win this, wouldn't win this one. I had a lousy poker hand because I didn't have a straight. I had, because there's 6 suits, so I made sure there was a break in it. So that way, since I didn't take anything, I could have Doc Bad Luck and I could shore up or save 2 cards.
Save the pony, yeah.
And then you could lock the pony. Now nobody can steal it from me. So that's the strategy you can actually take. It takes a lot of work, and you have to hope nobody steals it before you get to that part. But because you do have to go in order down the board. Yeah. But that's about it for strategy, wouldn't you say? Let's talk about our likes and dislikes.
I like the components.
Yeah.
The high quality, like we've talked about, the money, the art style, even the little gold nuggets are all different. I mean, I don't think they're the same cut or anything. It's like a little random shard of it's like a shard of plastic. Components are just really good about it. Also like that it's a very quick learn and play.
Yeah. The dice are also inlaid.
Yeah, they're engraved, well made.
They're not just stickered or just painted.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw any of them where the paint was over the top or extra.
No, I don't think there was a single flawed die, which is amazing with this many.
The only thing I did notice is like this king versus this king, the color is a little bit different. But I think that's the only thing I noticed.
That's getting real nitpicky. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree, but I'm just saying that's the only thing I noticed.
I mean,
I honestly. Personally, I don't have any dislikes.
I can see
the rules are straightforward. I taught it to you guys in less than 5 minutes, probably. We played it in less than half an hour first time. You can play multiple games a night. It can be a good filler, a good game while you're waiting for other people to show up.
The only downside I could see, and I don't agree with this, is it is completely luck. It's all rolling just to see what you're going to get. But I think that's the nature of the game. Like, I mean, that's the type of game this is. It's not a game where it's meant to be real heavy on strategy.
No, it's a light. And it's
poker,
it's
but
not like our last week's review. This is a
it's not Shadows. There's no Shadows of Brimstone.
I love that it's family friendly. Any age. I taught this to my son. Again, in like less than 10 minutes, we played a game. It's not as fun. I'll say this: it's not as fun with 2 people, because nobody ever goes to Doc Bad Luck with 2 people. We played it with 3, and still that only happened maybe 2-3 times in a couple of full games.
And it's only family friendly when you're playing with a certain group of people.
That's true. Depending how the language.
What's this up to? 4?
Up to 5 players.
5.
So it can play a big group.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy it, and it kind of feels that nice light to light medium weighted game.
The one thing I guess I'll say is I won the first game we played. I lost the second game that we played, but I still had a blast even though I lost. Like, it's not one of those games where at the end and you lose and you're just like, well, that sucks. I wasn't even close to winning.
No, he wasn't.
No.
It was a landslide.
About halfway through the game, I realized that wasn't going to happen, so I just tried to, sway who was going to win out of the 3 of us. But yeah, no, I still, it was still a lot of fun, and I think just playing it is fun, and that's one thing I like about it.
And one thing it does well is a lot of the whenever you say light games, people still say, and they see lots of dice, they're just like, okay, stupid, like Chupacabra, Bears. No,
really fun games.
Well, and they're fun, but they're really light and dumb.
Those are,
they're just turn your brain off. This one actually, and a lot of those get boring. You play 1 or 2 games in a row, and you're like, okay, I cannot see that game for a month. This is a light
except for
game.
Bears, you can play that every day.
This is one that I could, I wouldn't make it a full 3-hour game night of multiple games.
No.
Play a couple games tonight, play a couple games next week, but I could bring it, and I don't think I'd get tired of it as long as you don't overdo it and play 10 games in a row, because there is just enough strategy and options that it keeps it interesting and unique. Every game's different.
Yeah, I mean, if you saw this once a week and you played 1 game while you were waiting for somebody to show up or
set up another big game, whatever it is.
Whatever. I mean, in the 20-25 minutes, 30 max, I would
Oh,
say,
yeah.
that it takes to play. Yeah, I wouldn't have any problem.
Let's talk reviews. We do a scale of 1 to 10. 1 was absolutely terrible. Manhattan Project, to go back to some of our old videos. 10 is amazing, which I think Cosmic Encounter for most of us. You know, really, really good game. Brian, maybe not, but
I love Cosmic.
I know.
10 though.
Yeah. But I'll start off. I'm gonna give this a 7.5. I think it's a fun game. I think you can play it, like you said, really often. Great components. The only thing I could see is I could see it maybe getting a little boring if you played a lot of games back to back over a few weekends, you know, or a few weeks, however often your game group gets together. But it's a good, short, easy game, a lot of fun, and I'll leave it at that. It's a good game all around.
Yeah, this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm gonna give it an 8.
You do own it, though, so it's
no. But here's what
okay.
I found. You can see the wall of games. I have these huge 3-hour games, tons of minis. I have lots of games, and what I find is this is the kind where I actually get my money's worth out of it.
It's true.
And that's what it really boils down to. Is, you know, I own many games where I paid like $60 to $100 for one game, and we've played them just enough times to get a feel for it, review it, and
never.
shelve it. Yeah, there's like over 20 games I've never touched. But what it boils down to, as far as like, it's a little pricey for what it is if you pay the full MSRP of $45, but it's gonna hit the table a lot. I can play if relatives come and visit over the holidays. You can play with people. I can play with my kids. So I know I can break it out anytime. I can teach it to pretty much anybody, and it's fun. I haven't gotten bored of it yet. Like I said, 2 players is a little weak. 3 and up is what you want to do. And so that's why it's an 8 for me, is that I know I'm going to play this a lot. I know I'll keep this in my collection and not grow bored of it. And I know it'll hit the table. And I can't say that about every game in my collection. So it's very good, very fun. 8.
I'm going to go with an 8 as well, just because...
Smart man.
Yeah, it's easy to play. It's fun because you can still, I mean, you have a little bit of a conversation. It's joking, so you're laughing. It's not serious. You don't have a headache when you're done. It doesn't take you 3 hours to play it. For what it is, it's exactly what it needs to be. The components are really good. The dice are good. You know, the little things like different pictures. The cardboard is nice. I mean,
and you don't see it often in a light game, but the theme, at least, it ties in. It's
a
Old
little
West.
bit, yeah.
It's poker. It's you're winning different things. The
Right.
symbols match up with the different buildings.
but yeah,
So-
overall, the only thing I would say is a downfall is that if you're paying full price, it seems a little pricey. Other than that, I would highly recommend people getting it.
All right, that's our review of Dice Town. Check back next week for our new video.